Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about today is who ordered tyranny on a Friday morning over easy. Because we have a big case of it going on somewhere in a very psychopathic gun controlling state. Because it turns out that all you need to do if you are a gun controlling governor tyrant is just allow and force a solution for the people to get all sorts of signatures on referendums. And then when they get to the impossible number that you set for them, you just make it an emergency order so the referendum doesn't count. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Like I said, gun control, tyranny, ordered over easy. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one because I'm sure it's going to be spicy. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you want to spread freedom from the West Coast, the East Coast, the Southern to the Northern border. And thank you for that consideration. All right, first things first, guys, I'm not wearing a t-shirt. Unfortunately, I have to go to a funeral today. I have to go to a service, but I wanted to get this to you guys before I went and give you a little treat for the eyes because this is unusual, so hope you guys don't mind. All right, where we're going, this is a situation right here, guys. We're going to go to Massachusetts because the governor there fancies herself a queen. This is a really irritating one for me because, remember, they passed extremely stringent gun control laws in a prior session of their state legislature. Well, then the solution was to just get 50,000, ballot or referendum signatures. No big deal. It's not an insurmountable amount of people. But then when you do it and you go through the organizing effort, the governor's just going to make it an emergency language to stop you from stopping her tyranny. Yeah, let's get it. Check this out. From the AP, everything's linked. Massachusetts governor puts new gun law into effect immediately. All right. That doesn't sound as terrible as what I said. Maybe I'll go over to the other article that I've got pulled up for you guys. Let's read the... Oh, here we go. Healy plans to use executive authority to beat back an attempt to suspend Massachusetts gun law. Executive authority. Where have we heard that before? I don't know. It rhymes with schmovid, though. All right, let's keep going. Here is what's happening, and I'll kind of bounce back and forth between these two articles because they really complement each other. And this happened like yesterday, day before yesterday. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey took action Wednesday to immediately implement a sweeping new gun law that cracks down on privately made unserialized ghost guns, criminalizes possession of bump stocks and trigger cranks, and requires applicants for a gun license to complete live fire training. The action by Healey frustrates efforts by gun rights activists who had hoped to gather enough signatures to suspend the law before it took effect. Now, that's interesting because they're always telling us that the enemy of the democracy, the constitutional people who follow the, Constitution and Bill of Rights, there's a way you can just go get 50,000 signatures. Why are you freaking out? There's an entire process. Well, then when you get the process and you get the 50,000 signatures, all of a sudden it's an emergency order passed 3 months after the law was passed. Isn't that weird? It wasn't an emergency until 3 months later when they were about to lose it. Yeah. Let me show you some more here because go back to the other article. Same thing. Governor Maura Healey plans to use her executive authority on Wednesday. That's very, very true. In order to make the gun bill she signed in July an emergency law. Let me double highlight that. An emergency law. Wasn't an emergency in July. Is an emergency now. I wonder what changed. A move that effectively nullifies an attempt by Second Amendment rights groups to suspend the measure before it takes hold later in October. Oh, maybe she's trying to nullify democracy, because that's their language, even though we're a constitutional republic. But, other than that, let's just keep going. Maybe there's something else that we could ascertain before we go back to the AP article here. Toby Leary, owner of Cape Cod Gun Works and chairman of the Civil Rights Coalition, said Healey was set to demonstrate pure tyranny at its finest. I would agree. And threatened to put 400 gun stores out of business with her signature. I wonder if that was the intent. Quote, she is literally interfering with the democratic process that is unfolding, a constitutional process that is unfolding. She had 2 months to do this before, Leary told the Herald Tuesday morning. If it was such an immediate need and dire threat to the state, why did they wait until they knew they were going to be successful in our campaign? This is only an effort to silence the voices of 85,000 people that will be involved in this campaign. And again, I highlighted right down there, sign the emergency language. So you push through gun control. You knew it's unconstitutional. You said, well, guys, you can just get signatures because, after all, there is a process to air your grievances. And then when the grievances were aired and the signatures were all collected and you were about to lose your gun control tyranny of which you personally signed, all of a sudden, it's no longer it'll take time, it's okay, we'll find from, July through October of enactment. Now it's a brutal emergency. They're gaming the system. Can anyone else say lawsuits? We'll come back to that in a second. So let me show you some other stuff here. Again, this is probably why she may want this. The law also expands the state's red flag law to let police, as well as healthcare and school officials, alert the courts if they believe someone with access to gun poses a danger and should have their firearms taken away, at least temporarily. Quote, this gun safety law bans ghost guns, strengthens the extreme risk protection order statute to keep guns out of the hands of people who are a danger to themselves or others, and invest in violence prevention programs. Healy said in a statement, it's important that these measures go into effect without delay. Again, that's weird because they didn't have to go into effect without delay for these crucial programs in July. But now in October, when they actually have the ballot signatures, or excuse me, I keep on saying ballot, the referendum signatures, now, guys, it's become much more serious. All right, let's just see what else we got going on down here. Maybe it has something timing, I don't know. Activists have been looking to suspend the law until voters can weigh in on a potential 2026 referendum that would repeal it. To keep it from taking effect, they needed to file at least 49,716 signatures from registered voters, which will also help guarantee the question is placed on the ballot. Healy's decision to put the law into effect immediately blocks any temporary suspension of the law. Well, what? No. Any temporary suspension of the law. They want their gun control, and they want it now. Let me just go back to the other article because it's so infuriating. There's something else that he said here. This is probably where this is going next. We might just seek a preliminary injunction because this law is so unconstitutional, he said. It's not going to be hard to show how people will be irreparably harmed, and we might seek a preliminary injunction for those reasons. Now, this is where it's interesting. I'm going to go back to the large image here. In a roundabout kind of twisted way, this is actually going to help them defeat this in the long run because right now, if they sued the law and they brought it to court around a law that's not enacted, they're not going to have any standing, and it's just going to be like a year or two of wasted time, and then they're going to throw it out because no one's being harmed irreparably. Now that she signed an emergency order, very similar to Michelle Hlawan Grisham's order in New Mexico, it can now be taken to court because it's enacted immediately. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, tyrants. Because we don't like this tyranny. We sure like our rights. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have they gone beyond the pale? And I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.